everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. No movie this week, just games. I assume that everyone is still out there playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. I know for a fact, someone I know tweeted out that they had just finished the story mode yesterday, and I was like, what? Now they're going to go and 100% it. And I'm just like, okay, 100%ing a Pokemon game? Good for you. Not something I'll ever do. Secondly, either you raced through that game, playing it every single day for hours, or it's a short game. And I can't believe that Nintendo would release a short Pokemon game. So I'm assuming that they just raced through the game and pushed through the story mode as quick as possible and never stopped. Because otherwise, that's really short, and I don't think that's possible. But I can't imagine finishing a game in a week. That's crazy. Even just the story mode. Like, I'm still working on Guardians of the Galaxy. When I play Pokemon eventually, that's going to take me months and months. I'm still going... I've still got a couple weeks to finish Guardians before Horizon Forbidden West comes out. And I should be able to do it, because I feel like I am in, not the end game, but just before the end game battles. So, fingers crossed I'll be able to finish that in time for Horizon. I do want to vent about... I love Guardians of the Galaxy. It is very funny and entertaining. The script is fantastic. The performances are great. And there are... Every so often, I come across a little gameplay issue that just makes me go, really? Really? You couldn't have just finessed this a little before you released it? As you might recall, I complained, I think last episode, about a space battle that pops up in the middle of the game when you've never had a space battle before, and they're just like, here, space battle. And you're like, wait, what? What? I don't know the controls. What's happening? Here, it was different. It was an area that you had to go through, and you had to unplug 4 specific cables to power down something, and you had to do this, of course, while wave after wave after wave of enemies attack you. That's not easy. Adding to the difficulty was, I would try to go to one of the cables, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get up there? Alright, let me try this one. How am I supposed to go? Oh, I'm dead. And while it took me like 2 or 3 tries of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing while getting killed by the enemies, and I was getting a little frustrated, eventually figured out, okay, I can get to this cable, so let me at least do that. And then once I unplugged that cable, that's when I discovered that enemies come in on these floating skiffs and attack you, and when you take them out, the skiffs remain where they are and become platforms to help you get up to the next one that is very high. So that's how I was like, okay, that's fine. Except after I got the second cable, I died again, and I was like, fuck. Because the problem is that Peter Quill has these jet boots, right? These jet boots are great. They have a nice double jump. So I like the double jump because I'm not very good at platforming, and I always will, even if it's a short distance, I will use the double jump just to make sure that I get across. Because, you know, just in case. And then a lot of the times you do need the double jump just anyway. But even if it's a single one, I still use it because I'm paranoid and I don't want to fall and die and then have to wait 5 minutes for the game to reload so that I can try the jump again. The problem is that in combat, you don't have a double jump. And so what I would do is I would try to jump to the platform, and I would either fall, either down and I have to climb back up again, or off the entire thing so that it would have to reset. Or I would end up double jumping, which would activate his hover boots, because he has a hover mode in combat where you can hover above the battlefield and shoot the enemies from above, out of their reach, which is super helpful in combat. Not super helpful when you're trying to jump platforms. Thankfully, I discovered that if you can find the right corner of the skiff where you can climb up, because you can't jump just anywhere on the skiff, you have to jump to a very specific point that'll let you climb up onto it. If I can hover right up next to it, I can get up onto the skiff, and then I'll be okay for when the hover boots cut out, and then I won't fall to my death. So that helped, but it still wasn't great, because I kept getting attacked by wave after wave of enemies, and then I eventually would die, and then I would have to wait 5 minutes for it to reload the scene, and then I would have to do it again. And the only thing that kept me from snapping my controller in half is, after I did 2 of the cables and died, I was like, "Urgh!" And I went back to do it again, and I went back to the first cable, and it wasn't there. And I said, "What, huh?" And then I noticed in the corner it said 2 of 4 cables. And I said, okay, it at least saved that, so that I don't have to keep doing it. You still had to start there because you needed those platforms to get up to the second one, and then get to the third one. But getting to the third one was such a pain in the ass, and I kept falling because I couldn't jump to the platform. And then, oh my god, I wanted to tear my hair out. And then, of course, the enemies keep attacking you, and then I would die eventually, and then I would have to start over again, and it was, like, irritating. So I did actually lower, once again, I went into the difficulty settings, and I lowered the damage that I was taking from enemy attacks, from normal to lower, or light, or whatever it's called, I don't even remember it anymore. That gave me the ability to keep trying these stupid jumps that I kept failing, without having to worry so much about constantly dying and having to wait for the scene to reload 5 minutes. So that helped quite a bit. And I don't even know how I eventually managed to finish it. Somehow I got onto the edge of a platform, and I was somehow able to jump up to the platform without falling, and then thank God, when that scene was over, I was like, oh, thank you. It was awful. Just awful. And I just blame that on the controls. So that was horrible. Of course, now I've just realized, this morning I realized that, I've been playing it for a couple more days, and I was like, I don't think I set the difficulty setting back for damage, so I'm like, maybe that battle with the beasts would have been a little more difficult if it'd been doing the right amount of damage to me. I will never know, because I'm not going back. But I will reset it back, because I would like to play it on normal and only have to tweak things when things get difficult. But yeah, that was super frustrating. So, but still enjoying the game, and on course to hopefully finish it in the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed. Although I do want to complain about something else too. It's PlayStation related. I also plugged in my PSVR again for the first time in a long time, because I wanted to play perfect and relax on a deserted island by the beach with the waves and everything, just to chill out. And it was wonderful. I did it. It was great. Then I went to turn it off, and I put my PlayStation to sleep. Fine. But then the next day when I went to play Guardians, I went to turn on my PlayStation, and it wouldn't wake up like normal. So I had to reset it and restart it. And then it's like, hey, you didn't shut down your PlayStation correctly. I'm like, yes, I did shut down my PlayStation correctly, but you didn't wake up correctly. I don't know why this happens, but it's been happening for years. Sometimes it goes to sleep and wakes up just fine. Other times it goes to sleep and then it won't wake up, and then I have to reset it, and it's annoying, and it's all down to the PlayStation VR. So, since I wasn't playing VR, I just unplugged it and went straight through the PlayStation to the TV, no problem. Which is also nice because I get the HDR. Not that I really care about the HDR, it doesn't look that different to me. I don't really notice it. I don't care, whatever. So I had to go and unplug the PlayStation VR again. And that's like super annoying. So I have to remember now that I can't trust the PlayStation, and if I want to do that I gotta unplug the VR, then put the PlayStation to sleep. Because otherwise it's not going to wake up correctly. And I look forward to eventually one day getting a PlayStation 5 somewhere in the next couple of years, so that I don't have to go through this anymore. I know that the PSVR 2, they've already got like a sign-up sheet for pre-orders and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not signing up for a pre-order on a PSVR 2 since I don't have a PlayStation 5 to plug it into. Maybe one day. In a couple of years. Who knows? That's it for this episode. Come back next time and see if I can finish Guardians of the Galaxy in time. Cross your fingers for me. Bye!